Well, hello there. How are you going today? Hope everything is fine and dandy in your little part of the realm. Thanks for joining me. This is AutoDidactic 2. And of course, AutoDidactic means to be self-educated. And that's what we do here. We look at what's going on around the realm and come to our own conclusions, right? It's all about gaining information and getting reference points in our minds so that we can get a clearer picture of what's going on and build our perspective. So welcome, and remember, don't believe anything I say, don't believe anything on the videos. This is all for entertainment purposes only, right? YouTube. It's actually all about, you getting the information and thinking about it and coming to your own conclusions about what's going on in this strange realm we find ourselves in. So let's jump into it.
History before World War I is a lie, and I'm going to explain with the most ridiculous narrative the world has ever seen. According to the mainstream narrative, from the years 1860 to 1910, we built all of the hydropathic centres, the springs, the water grid, the pipework, the water towers, all around the realm. And then 10 to 15 years later, they were all redesignated and destroyed. Why would they spend all of the money, the awareness and the consciousness to even be able to perceive that the water is sacred and to build their entire civilization after it? To put all of the resources, the time, the effort for it to just be destroyed a decade later. In the 1850s and 60s, and possibly even later, it was well known that places like London and cities and towns were very unhygienic. There was a lot of sewage, a lot of industrial waste, and famous writers like Charles Dickens wrote about the great stink of London, where the River Thames was so full of sewage that people had to literally move away from the place. It is said they soaked the curtains in chloride of lime to mask the smell. It was that bad. And yet, according to the mainstream narrative, the same civilization of the 1850s, 1860s, 1870s and beyond built the entire spring network all around the world, such as these incredible structures. See how ridiculous it is. The same civilization that valued water above anything else. They built their entire civilization around water. They built the bathhouses, the hydros, the pump houses, the water towers, springs in every single village and town and city in the realm would pollute their own water. They redesignated these structures into churches and didn't tell you that they were linked to the spring water grid like I've been explaining for years. This reel is a little bit aggressive in tone, but I need you to understand the stupidity and the nonsense of this narrative. Historians claim they know what happened thousands of years ago, millions of years ago. They don't even know what happened 100 years ago.
Yes, wow. The springs, right? We used to have things like radium springs, all these prime waters, if you want to call it that were full of things that we are now told will make us sick, right? All these other minerals and things that are in the water, and they were used for health and used, by the way, by families like the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all this kind of thing. But he makes a very good point that at the same time that we had all these great stinks, right? Like Melbourne was called Smelbourne in the 1860s because it was apparently so stinky from the sewage. London, of course, and many other cities around the world. But we are then told at the same time that they couldn't control the sewage, that they were building the infrastructure for all of these, prime water drinking wells. And then, of course, they ripped it all out, right? 20 years later or something. And this is the same story we hear with all the buildings, of course. They build them, and then, 10, 20 years later, they knock them over. It doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't. And, of course, now they're attacking us through the water, right? They've got rid of all the old water, the old prime water fountains and springs and things. When I was in Venice, there were heaps of them, but they were all covered up and shut down. They all had these steel plates over the top of them, locked onto them, so you couldn't use them, basically. So it's a very good question that he poses. Why would we be building these amazing this amazing infrastructure for, all the springs and all the good water, and at the same time couldn't deal with excess water like sewage. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? But let me know, what do you think was going on back then?
Look at the beautiful stonework. I cannot believe this is all hollowed out into the canyon itself. But it's so strange. It's as if it was flooded with water. There's this line where you can tell it was flooded at one time, maybe 6 feet high. Sediment layer. But it is huge. Mysterious little rooms. Hey-o. Ah-hoo-hoo.
Wow. I have seen a couple of videos like that before, but what he was saying is that chapel, that whatever you want to call it, building, was hollowed out from the cliff. Like basically, they've gone into the cliff and taken away everything that is not the chapel, right? I guess the other conclusion that we could come from that is that it was a building that was then melted, and the mountain around it, what we call a mountain, used to be the building. Of course, we need a few more ideas to get a proper perspective, because with only 2 points of view, we're still really being told something, right and left, all that kind of thing. But it's interesting because these buildings, or these places that look like they've been carved out of everywhere. It reminds me of the temples in India that are below the ground that have been cut out. We saw a video a few shows ago on that. Those buildings are also in Japan, Ethiopia, and no doubt many, many other places. So what's going on here? Are these buildings that were melted, or are they buildings that were literally cut out of mountains and rocks and things? And if so, how? Because they're so precise that I think we're going to have to be talking high technology, right? Some kind of lasers, 3D printing, I don't know. But let me know, what are your thoughts on this? How are all these buildings that look like they've been cut out of rock, how do you think they were made? Let me know in the comments.
So the mystery surrounding this image of Donald Trump with these two strange-looking individuals remains unsolved for the most part. People reckon that it could be AI, but after personally running it through 2 different AI detection programs, it's come back at it being 0% chance of it being AI generated. So, if the image is real, then who could these 2 individuals be? The general idea is that the beings could be the Nordic aliens, and these beings come from the Pleiades star system. Eyewitness testimonies of the Nordic aliens describe them as being tall, pale, long-haired, blonde, and looking very similar to how these beings look in this image. Now bear in mind that Donald Trump is 6'3", and all of this news comes just after former CIA researcher Dr. Hal Puthoff claimed that 4 different alien races have been recovered from crashed UFOs, including the Nordic aliens.
You guys actually think Donald Trump is meeting with extraterrestrial off-world fucking civilizations? Your calcified pineal gland is showing, buddy. There's no such thing as aliens. They've already been here. They're fallen angels. They're demonic beings. They worship entities that aren't here. These things are not fucking real. They are going to convince you that aliens are coming from outer space, but in reality, they have been here controlling reality since the start of fucking time. It's in the Bible. It's been removed from the Bible. It's in all these esoteric texts. The things that you were taught are not true.
Well, I agree with that. The things that we've been taught aren't true. And aliens, I'm guessing he's referencing space aliens, because alien just means someone not from here. So I think we're definitely dealing with something to do with dimensions, interdimensional beings. I don't know, it could be outer lands, could be the ocean, but I definitely don't believe that they're from space and they're space aliens. And the first video there, the guy said that he'd run that image through an AI detector, and it came back as, 100% real, zero AI. I mean, it looks pretty AI to me. Let me know your thoughts. But I was just thinking, these AI detectors that people are running all this stuff through, who controls them? Like, can we actually rely on them being accurate? Because with pictures like this, if they want us to believe that these aliens are here, right, the tall whites and everything, and they're, having a meeting with Trump because they're here to save us, if they wanted us to believe that, then they could make these AI detectors say, of course, that's a real picture, right? All part of the scam. But yeah, I do agree that, this whole alien thing, I've been saying it for a while, is they're already here, right? Clearly the control system is not made up of men and women, right? They are not us. I don't exactly know what they are or where they're from, but they're not us, right? They don't have our ethics. They don't have our compassion. We don't want to start wars. We don't want to subjugate people. We don't want to charge people for living on the earth. That is not a human trait, right? That's not what men and women do. Most men and women want peace, right? They want cooperation. They want community. They want a better life for everyone. But clearly, those in control don't. So that's why I would say they're not us. But let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think about all this Nordic, the tall whites, the four races of aliens? They're clearly building a narrative here. And is it heading towards Project BB? I don't know. What do you think what do you think they're trying to do with all of this? What do you think the end game is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
That's the lizards. They the lizard people running the show.
Okay, break this down.
Queen Elizabeth is a reptilian. So the Vatican has the history of the 2,000 years before. That's the real history. Africa is in America. America is in Africa. The map is backward. Garden of Eden is in Florida. The Mississippi River is the Nile. The gold is here. Make you think it's over there. Everything is flipped. Everything is flipped. That is the infiltration. That's the plan. They send Columbus over here to start it and take it over. The reptilians sent Columbus here. The reptilians are calling all of the plays that we know to be history. The black people left Africa 2,000 years before Christopher Columbus got to America. Part of the lie of them telling you that we were slaves, you can tear people down mentally. I don't gotta fight all of y'all. That's the strategy being used. That's why Columbus came here, was to mine gold. The whole gold rush, the whole value on gold isn't really valuable to us. Gold is valuable to the aliens, which is why gold is important on Earth. It's used in machines that we don't even know exist.
Interesting. Gold, a fuel for their machines that we don't know exists. I mean, it's an interesting perspective, right? Because what is gold? Why does gold have such a high value? But yes, of course, we know it's used in electronics. It's a very good conductor, all this kind of stuff. But other metals are basically just as good, right? And the thing with gold is they spend all this time and effort taking it out of the ground, and what do? They melt it into bars and then hide it underground in big vaults, as far as we know. We never get to see it. So what's really going on with the gold there? Now, he mentioned the aliens and space aliens, and of course that's Zachariah Sitchin. That's the whole narrative of the Anunnaki coming here on planet Nibiru, which orbits and comes by every, I can't remember, the 2,000 years. I don't know exactly. And they're basically here to try and get gold to save their atmosphere. I don't really subscribe to that because, one, I don't believe in space or space aliens, and two, that whole narrative comes from one person, right? And I think we have to be very, wary of these narratives that we get that all come from one person. It's like Atlantis, right? It all comes from Plato, like literally a couple of lines. And now Atlantis is everywhere. There's books, there's encyclopedias on it, there's movies and documentaries and all of this information that has come out of 2 lines, right? So it's like someone's put an idea out there, probably the controllers, and we've built on it and turned it into this big thing, right? It's expanded like an upside down pyramid, where I think that what would be happening naturally is we would have all of these different reference points for a topic. And as we learn more about it, it would condense, right? So it would be a pyramid the right way up, right? And we would be getting to the truth of it rather than expanding in theories. And this is definitely what seems to be going on in, the truth community, the conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. There's all this expanding, but it's not really based on anything, right? Just based on theories. So we have to be careful of what, if we take those on as belief systems, I think it all seems to be inverted. And then the whole America is Africa, is Egypt. That's interesting. That one's been floating around for 3 or 4 years now, at least, that the Mississippi is the Nile. And of course, in America, the USA, they have cities like Memphis, right? There's a Memphis in Egypt. And, many other towns that basically are names that are given as Egyptian towns and cities. There's even Phoenix, right? What's that called Phoenix for? I don't know, but what do you think about that? Like, let me know your thoughts. Is America really Egypt? Has it all been flipped, like on the map? Has it just been, mirrored, right? Like a mirror, right? You put it up there and it flips everything over. Is that what's going on here? And what do you think the thing about gold is?
I'm currently solo traveling in Japan, and I just walked past an otter cafe. So we're going. That's like my lifelong dream, to hold an otter. They look so cute. I'm like freaking out with cuteness overload right now. Getting fitted up to see the otters. Literally haven't worn a mask since COVID. This feels so good. Oh, hello! Oh my god. Hi. Oh my god. Hi. Hi, Bubbles. The cutest thing ever.
I'm going to demonstrate to you why it's important to have a dog around. Dogs have an instinct to know when their owner is in danger, and they will come to their rescue. I'm going to basically fake a serious, life-threatening situation, and my dogs will come to my aid. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's a good boy. So sometimes, guys, you can get a faulty model. So always get yourself a second dog for that extra security. Hey, buddy. You alright, matey? Yeah, I know. See, I'm alive! Keep it! Guys, and that's why you always get yourself a second one. Stop, cut.
Ah, yes, get yourself a second dog. I just love how the first one was just lying on his back the whole time. He didn't care. He's just pretending to be the human, right? Very good. And otter cafes. I would love to go to an otter cafe, but I'm not wearing the mask.
So the theory is we are currently in the season finale of the greatest game ever designed by God. This is why shit is getting crazy right now. This is why there's so much disclosure in the last year. This is why the game is getting almost ludicrous with the amount of updates and changes and developments. We're entering a very high stakes part of the game. Just like at the end of any movie, the climax of the movie is the most high stakes moment. Will Harry Potter kill Voldemort? Will Frodo destroy the ring? This is where we are right now in the simulation. This is why you don't watch movies anymore, is because the game itself has become the ultimate movie. What's happening right here, right now is so fucking interesting. The idea of tuning into some movie is ludicrous. And here's the most important piece. We already know God wins in the end. But for the purpose of the game, the stakes have to feel absolutely real and immersive. This is just a game. It's just a dream of the soul. It's just a simulation for your consciousness. And yet, the stakes have to feel very serious, very important, very urgent. But we know God wins in the end. So you can rest assured that the ending of this season finale is going to be glorious. No matter what they throw at us, social ID, another pandemic, an energy grid crisis, more fake moon missions, more Epstein files, it doesn't matter because God wins in the end. I, for one, am excited that all of this darkness is coming out. It's been unearthed, revealed, and there's more to come. So enjoy the game. This is the best part of the movie, and you're getting to live through it. You incarnated at this moment, at this precise time, so you can experience the climax of the video game, the most high stakes finale ever designed by God.
I think South Park made an episode like that years ago, where Earth was basically a TV show, right, for all the aliens, space aliens to watch. Yeah, but I mean, it's an interesting theory because I definitely do, and I've spoken to lots of people who feel like that we're here for a reason, right? We're here to see some event, to experience something, and looking around, there's definitely seems to be something big going on. There's definitely a shift in consciousness. Is this what's happening? Are we hitting the end, right? Are we in the montage, right? Which is just before, the hero fights back and wins. Is that where we are at the moment? Is this just all some kind of dream, like you said, consciousness simulation? I obviously don't believe in simulation theory, like that we're all in a computer game or something, or a simulated reality, but in the end, everything is energy. So what we are perceiving is not necessarily what it is, right? Because, you look at a table or a desk or a computer, it doesn't look like energy. So it's interesting. Let me know what your thoughts on that are. And the only thing I would sort of disagree in a bit with is you keep saying God wins. I think, to me at least, we are God. We are both the creation and the creator. So we win. It's us that win. And it's probably us that have designed this game, if that's what it is. But let me know what your thoughts are. Are we coming to the finale of some big movie that we found ourselves in?
We're in a spiritual warfare. I don't think there's any other explanation other than it's all spiritual. There is a reason spirituality has been hidden from us. There is a reason our power has been hidden from us, because those at the very top, I'm talking about Baal. I think the Satanists worship him, definitely the Zionists and the Rothschilds and all those people worship Baal. So when you're not actually tapped into source consciousness, you need to get your energy from the earthly realms, from the lower dense realms, and they're doing that. That's exactly why they want you in a fear state. That's exactly why they want power over you. That's why they want you numb and dumb and giving your power away, because you're doing literally that. Your power is feeding these people at the top. It is energy. Your money is energy. Your consciousness is energy, and it can be harnessed and harvested. You don't think that the free energy technology that's been hidden from us, and the ET technology and the ancient technologies that have been hidden from us have anything to do with harvesting energy? You think that magic doesn't exist? I am telling you, this is about energy. And so regardless of what they're doing, they can only do that because we give them our consent, because we play into their game without even knowing it. We're so eluded and disconnected from the truth that we take the truth that they tell us, and that's actually serving them, which is a spiritual purpose, which is all about energy and power. Because I'll say it again, if you do not get your energy from source, if you don't get your power from the light, you have to get it from the bottom. And power is the one thing you can never have enough of. The fastest way to to just tap out of this is to just reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your energy, start taking ownership of your energetic vessel, of your frequency, of your vibration. There is a reason they don't want people awakened, because when you vibrate too high, they can't touch you. So it is your responsibility in this to just vibrate and become the best human that you can be. And you might think it feels like it has nothing to do with the world, but you are part of this world, and therefore it has everything to do with the world, because one awakened human vibrates so much higher than like 1,000 asleep people. Your light is so potent that it can touch and awaken everyone around you. That's why their game is trying to make the whole population dull and sleep, because one person truly is that much of a threat. So be the threat, my love. Wake up to your own innate power and shine, and just trust that the divine is going to work in your favor, and that your reality is going to co-create based on who you are inside. As within, so without. It truly is that simple. And that's why I believe this truly is an energy and a spiritual warfare, and you just have to remember yours.
Well, let me know your thoughts on that one. I mean, yes, I definitely agree that everything is energy and that everything is consensual, right? They're offering us all these things, not that they tell us, what's going to happen if we accept, right? It's the small print, right? Like we get in contracts. It's always there to deceive us, and this is, well, in the Bible, right? To quote the Bible, it says that, the devil, the bad, the fallen angels, they're deceivers. It also says you'll know them because they are arrogant. So interesting. I think there's a bit of truth in everything. Not that I believe, the Bible word for word. It is the world's most edited book after all. But I agree with most of what she said. But the thing that I would differ on is, she kind of said the earth is the lowest energy, the physical. I think the earth is spirit. It is the highest frequency. It is what we need to connect to. We have the ley lines, right? We have the sun. We can ground on the earth, sit near an old tree, right? And you'll feel it. And of course, animals, right? Animals are awesome. So all of this stuff, nature, I think that is spiritual, and that is where we get our energy from, and probably the highest form of energy. As far as connecting to the spirit, what is that? I guess is my question. We definitely should connect with, hope and self-belief and being the best we can be, and love and joy and all this kind of stuff. But when people talk, get into the whole spiritual, I personally don't have a lot of reference points on what that is. So it's very hard to define what I'm connecting to. And then there's a whole question about, mediums and all these kind of people. Who are they actually talking to, right? We don't really know. So I would put it down as nature, right? The earth is your highest energy source. But as always, guys, let me know your thoughts.
Outside of our ice wall are many lands, but let's talk about Lemuria, Asgard, and Atlantis. And as we know, Atlantis was very futuristic and advanced in their technology. But Asgard was still the most powerful spiritually. And when the custodians tried to come in and take over these lands, they were held off by Asgard with their advanced spiritual technology and light source. But eventually the custodians were successful in destroying all three of these lands, and it's said that the souls from these lands ended up reincarnating into our ancestors in the known lands, which is where the Tartarian Empire came in with the giants. But the custodians noticed we were getting too advanced here, so they ended up destroying Tartaria as well. So some of those humans and giants ended up leaving through the opening in the ice wall. The humans went to the Ancestral Republic, and the giants went to the lands of Enoch. And this is the same opening that William Morris went through as well, based on the map that he was given to get outside of the ice wall to the Ancestral Republic. So those same humans were able to escape before the last reset and move to the Ancestral Republic and use the information and technology they had from Atlantis and build it here in the Ancestral Republic.
Outer lands, do they exist? There's lots of maps that show different lands than what we're showing today, right? In most of the maps, before sort of 1700 or before the 1800s, really, Australia doesn't exist on them, right? It's just this big land mass at the bottom. And of course, all the maps are rectangle, they're not round. So there is the Monty Planisphere, which if you've seen my other channel, AutoDidactic, you'll you'll know I've looked into that map a lot, and it has lands all around the outside that apparently no longer exist. So what do you think? Are there outer lands? Is this maybe where the aliens, the UFOs and things are coming from? He sort of talks about, the ancestrals, and this is based on the book, The Man Who, what's it called? The Man Who Went Over the Ice Wall, or something similar to that. I mean, it's interesting, right? But it is just a theory. Like, we can't prove any of this at this point. So, I find that these topics interesting to talk about. I think conversation's good, and we get perspective from that. But as far as going deep into this, you can't really, because we can't prove any of it. And, he was talking about Atlantis again. And it's like I said before, everything about Atlantis comes from Plato, and it's a couple of lines. And now it's this big, it's been blown up with all these different people inputting their theories into it, into this big thing. So it's not really something that we can trust as proven to be real, right? And that's because we don't have the reference points, because we can't get out there and see it for ourselves and prove it right or wrong. But anyway, what do you think? Are there outer lands? Do you think they exist?
Old phrases we still use today and where they originated from. Number 1. In ancient Rome, when two men swore an oath, they held each other's testicles as a sign of trust and sincerity. The Latin word for witness was testis, directly connected to this practice. That is where the word testify comes from. Every time a witness testifies in an American courtroom today, they are unknowingly referencing a Roman ritual involving a very different kind of oath-taking. Number 2. In Victorian London, thieves worked in pairs. One grabbed the victim's leg to distract them while the other picked their pockets. The technique was so common it entered everyday language as a joke. When someone says they are pulling your leg today, they have no idea they are describing a pickpocket distraction technique from 19th century London street crime. Before I say the last one, make sure to hit that follow button to support the channel. Number 3. When Greek immigrants arrived at American docks in the 19th century, they inspected incoming cargo. If everything was in order, they declared "Ola Kala," meaning all is good in Greek. American dock workers shortened it to OK. The most universally used word in the English language came from Greek immigrants checking shipping cargo on American docks.
On the English language. Because we all know I'm not real good at fucking learning that, am I?
Okay.
But it poses a few questions.
All right.
For instance, the word physical, right? The PH at the start makes an F sound.
Okay, okay.
But if you think of the word fucking laugh, the two letters at the end make the F sound, which is a G and an H.
Okay, okay, that's where you're going.
And then when you think of the word through, the G and the H at the end don't make any fucking sound at all. But if you take the H and the R out of through, you get fucking fucked. And then all of a sudden the GH has got something to fucking say about it. Meanwhile, you've got the letter F sitting over here like a spare dick in a fucking corner, doing fuck all. I just don't understand why we put two unrelated letters together to make a sound of a letter that we already possess in the fucking alphabet. Even in the fucking word alphabet, there's a fucking PH instead of a fucking F. I wrote these words. Righto.
The old Phoenician F, the PH, but he's true about the GH. Wasn't through and tough. It's like our language is crazy, right? English is a trade language that was basically created from all the other languages, right? So they could communicate when they were trading in ports. At least that's the story. But it's such a mess. It's such a mess. None of it makes sense at all. I mean, even phonetic is not spelled phonetically. Crazy. And the sayings to testify. Did you know that that's where it came from? Yeah. I mean, I wonder if, when it went wrong and someone didn't, stick to their oath, is that a balls up?
Bruce, did you ever feel lost in your journey? In order to control myself, I must first accept myself by going with, not against, my nature.
What do you say to people who always have an excuse?
To hell with circumstances. I create opportunities.
I'm ordinary. I just work harder than everyone else.
Excuses are a choice.
Yeah, and I never chose them.
Were you afraid of stillness because it exposed your doubts?
Stillness sharpens awareness. Doubt only survives in distraction.
Bruce, some critics say your reputation is exaggerated. Are you really as good as people claim?
Skill speaks through action, not opinion. I don't chase validation. My goal is to improve every day.
What does it truly mean to flow like water in life?
To flow is to stop resisting what already is. Water adapts, yet remains itself. That is the essence of living free.
Weren't you just pretending to be deep so people wouldn't question you?
Depth cannot be pretended under pressure. It either holds or collapses.
Why do people choose comfort even when it destroys growth?
Because comfort offers safety, while growth demands responsibility.
Didn't you hide behind philosophy to avoid real failure?
Philosophy did not hide failure. It forced me to face it repeatedly.
Bruce, many people say your ego is too big. Is that true?
Confidence is mistaken for ego when people don't understand the work behind it. My aim is mastery, not superiority.
People want greatness, but only train when they feel motivated. What do you say to them?
Motivation fades, discipline stays. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it.
Let's be real, weren't you just arrogant with good marketing?
Arrogance demands attention. Confidence remains focused even when ignored.
Why do people hide insecurity behind ego?
Because ego protects what skill has not earned.
You tried to control everything because you couldn't trust anyone else.
Control was internal, not external. Trust begins with self-discipline.
People want results fast, but they avoid the hard work. What truly makes someone stronger?
Strength comes from repeating what others quit. If you improve even 1% today, you are already stronger than yesterday.
Why is approval so important to people?
Approval replaces self-trust. When self-understanding is weak, external validation feels necessary.
Wise words from Bruce there. I love what he says. For me, there was two main themes there. One is, if you just focus on improving a little bit every day, that's really all you need to do, right? Because you're moving forward. We don't have to have these massive goals where we're going to change ourselves or the world, overnight or whatever. But if we get better every day, just a bit, well, in a year, 2, 5, 10, you're going to be a completely different person, right? And the other one is the validation, seeking approval from the outside world. When it's all to you, and this is again back to, the self-improvement every day, but when you're focused on, becoming who you want to be, building skills, getting mastery, all this kind of stuff, you don't need external validation, right? You've got everything you need inside of you right now. And of course you do have everything you need inside of you right now. But please let me know, what was your favorite comment there by Bruce? What really sort of touched you the most and made the most sense? Let me know in the comments. And there we go, guys. That is another one done, another romp through the strange realm. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please do hit the like button. Leave your comments. Let me know what you thought. Of course, hype it up if you have the facilities to do so. Share it around, all that good stuff. And make sure you're subscribed so that you'll see all of my future uploads. Well, hopefully, right, YouTube? So thanks for spending some time with me. Stay awesome, because you are. And I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Really?
Get it off the couch.
Take it out.
Now. He's gonna drown himself.
Where did you get that? Careful.
You actually.
Marley, what do you think you're doing? No!